Again, we want to tell the spreadsheet to do some calculations for us. The first calculation we need is the average of the two mass values from melting. We could manually set up the formula for this equation, but the spreadsheet has a shortcut that can save us some time. You'll need to first click in the cell where you want the formula to go, then type an equal sign. Then type the word average. Then select the cells that you want the computer to take an average of. For example, in this case, we want the average of the mass loss from the solid and the mass gain in the liquid. So I will click and drag to select cells E3 and F3. When I press enter, I'll see the average of these two values appear in the cell. Again, I could set up similar formulas manually for the rest of this column, but since the formatting of the formula will be exactly the same except one cell lower on the spreadsheet, I can click and drag just like I did in the previous video. Now I have the average mass for all of my data sets. In the red column I, we need to calculate the energy transfer out of the warmer water. We'll do this exactly the same way as we did in the previous video. Click in the cell where you want the formula to go, equals the data from cell C3 multiplied by the data from cell D3. Again, I can click and drag my formula down the column to replicate the equation for the rest of my data. Now that we have our average mass change from melting and the amount of energy that was transferred from the warmer water to the ice cube, we can display our data graphically in a scatter plot to see the relationship between the amount of energy being transferred and the amount of ice melt. Just like in the last video, we will need to select the data table, so I'm selecting from cell H3 to I8, and go up to the menu bar to select Insert, Chart. Once your chart is created, we need to format it properly. First, make sure that Scatter Chart is selected. Then add the line of best fit. We do this by selecting Customize, Series, scroll down to checkmark Trend Line. Like before, I'm going to set up my axis minimums to 0. So horizontal axis, minimum value 0, and vertical axis, minimum value 0. If I want the slope or y-intercept of my line of best fit, I can get the computer to tell me what those values are by going to Series, scroll down to Label, and select Use Equation. Now the computer is telling me the equation for the trend line. This is in y equals mx plus b format. So for my graph, the slope is 83.4 calories per gram, which is very close to the latent heat of fusion value for water, which is 79.7 calories per gram.